there does have to be a level of preparation.
Yeah.
Because I think people do go into even like, okay, let's say your dating relationship was perfectly fine. And this how me and Chris would like were the entire time we dated. I used to say, oh, we don't fuss and fight. We have debates and discussions, because we legitimately did. Like, we would just kind of go back and forth about different things, see each other's perspective. And then when we got married, it was like a switch. We were like arguing about stuff. Things became more important, because now we're together forever, and now I have to live with this thing and I'm not comfortable with it. So I think it's important to really just think about how valuable, how important, how impactful are certain things to you.
Welcome to another episode of the Sisterhood Debrief, where we discuss all things
sisterly,
godly,
and ratchet. Okay, girl. What's up, y'all? Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Episode of TSD. How y'all been? How you been?
I've been good. How you been?
I'm good.
That's good.
Does it sound good?
No, this is just alongside.
So
doesn't sound good.
Every time somebody asks me how I'm doing, I think about this conversation from this self-care retreat, where it was like, stop telling people you good when you not.
Yeah, I don't.
Like, tell the truth.
I do tell the truth.
I don't know.
For the most part.
Because if I say, I'm okay, and then you want to know what's going on, then I'm like, I wasn't trying to talk about it. I'm just trying to be honest. But then if you don't ask me, like, why do I seem off, then I'm be offended.
Girl,
so I just say.
We not Chris. Absolutely not.
So I just feel like I should just say I'm good.
No,
so there's no confusion.
My boss asks us. My boss is really good about like doing daily check-ins with us, and she's like, "How you doing?" I'm like, "I'm okay." Then she's like, she knows that means I'm not okay, but I don't want to talk about it right now.
Okay.
If she like,
she knows you will.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I'm good. She's like, okay. Especially I'm good with exclamation point. She's like, oh, okay, we having a good day.
Okay.
And then, or she's like, how you doing? I'm like, are you available? She'd be like, oh Lord. I know she be bracing herself like, what this girl about to tell me? I know she probably be thinking, please not quit.
That means she know you. I'm still trying to get my coworkers to understand that I am not good before 12 o'clock p.m.
12 o'clock?
Yes, I don't care. I am not morning person. Like, leave me alone. I'm not trying to be hype. I'm not trying to holler and scream. We teachers, so everybody all lit like, hey, good morning.
Yeah, they be high energy.
Like, it's not even 8 o'clock. Like, I need a minute.
My coworkers, I put my headphones in when we're in the office. If I have my headphones in, they can talk to me all they want. I'm listening to a true crime podcast, and I cannot hear you over them describing this murder to me. So they'd be like, I was listening to a podcast. Leave her alone. That's what I do. But
at least you can escape. I want a job where I can escape.
But is it really an escape?
People can't bother you. Yeah.
No. I'm just ignoring them.
Well, I guess.
Probably not rightfully so, because they probably actually need something.
Horrible.
But sometimes,
out of office.
We actually just found out that we're going back to the office. Or whatever. But I'm really not even gonna complain. We only have to go 1 week out the month. Okay. So it's not every week. It's not every day. Yeah. So I'm not gonna complain. We have to go back to the office. But it is gonna cut back on my ability to hide. Which I'm not looking forward to. I'm not looking forward to, other people. Like, I have one coworker. She loves coming to talk, and she does not understand personal space. I'm gonna be like, sis, we still in the pandemic.
It's COVID. It's a panorama, man.
I'm gonna need you to give me 20 feet. Okay? So, but I'm not even mad about it. I guess that's what's going on. It's like mentally preparing for it. But I probably need the ability to go back in the office, because sometimes you need to change the scenery. Yeah. Sometimes when you change, you become a little bit more productive. And I feel like maybe it'll be my most productive week. Yeah. Well, hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if it will be my most productive week. So will it be like, oh, you're so productive in the office, you can come back in full time?
Nope.
I don't know. I'll have to figure that out.
That's how I felt when we first started going back into the school. But I was like, oh, this is gonna be lovely. Nope. This week we've been at home because they quarantined us after a break or whatever. Yeah. And I was like, oh, this is the least stress I have felt in like 4 months. My goodness, can it just be like this forever?
It's something about not having to commute.
Yeah.
And sleeping a little bit longer because you don't have to commute.
Yes, I definitely slept until 8 o'clock every day this week.
Yeah.
8:30. But
So what else been going on with you? With the deep sigh.
Work. It's literally work. I swear, like, when you take work out of the equation, everything else is like fine. I'm not stressing about anything else. The stress of work on top of everything else that I have to do. So teaching all day, then coming home for the therapy internship, and then still doing BHJ and co stuff. And I know, like, when I say that, I feel like people be like, but you're choosing to do all those things. I mean, I don't think it's a choice, because if I take out the things I'm actually passionate about, I become very, very mentally depressed. So it's really not a choice. Like, I'm doing what I have to do for family, but then I'm also but then I also have to do what I have to do for myself, but essentially, like, it's still a stressful dynamic, but it's less stressful than walking around not doing anything that I actually love. It's a weird situation.
No, it makes sense, because sometimes you be like, it's like the people who like, you gotta, you know, work a 9 to 5 during the day, and then, like, work your passion at night until you can work your passion full time.
Listen, so when January comes, just know, okay, I love all the people that I work with. They real legit work friends. Some have become personal friends. Love y'all, but as soon as CJ come up out of this state, and I'm checking the deuces. Well, I might have to come back in April, but after this year, I'm done. After this school year, I am done, and I'm excited. I'm excited about this shift. And that's really, work is really just it. But also, personally, I had to, I've been stressing about, like, gestational diabetes test and, you know, my eating habits. And my doctor is like, so you've already gained this many pounds. And not doctor, midwife. So, I mean, they're still concerned regardless. But and that is more than what we recommended for the duration of the pregnancy. I was like, ma'am, I lost this much before the pregnancy. So it's just a lot of different things. I'm just
I don't like when doctors do that. But I don't like when doctors do that to somebody who's pregnant. One, everybody's hormones and body adapts to pregnancy differently. So you can have a recommended, like, if somebody gained 100 pounds, like, okay, like, baby, this lady said. But if somebody, like, I want to enjoy my pregnancy, and I don't want to have, you know, as Americans, really
I don't want to have salad.
Beat down this diet mentality. I want to enjoy my pregnancy, which includes the food I eat. Like, I want to be able to do that, and I feel like I know my body too, and it's not like you sitting here binging out like, yo, you're eating a Snickers bar and then drinking a milkshake. I'm still doing my regular 3 meals. You know, eating crazy, eating burgers and drinking diet soda and all kind of crazy stuff. So it's just like, if somebody is gaining weight a little bit higher than you want them to, but they're enjoying their pregnancy and they're overall healthy. First of all, you're creating a whole human. Like, that's a whole job by itself. And I don't know. I always feel some type of way about people in general who kind of scrutinize pregnant women. About that, because it's like, one, you don't know how much weight my body naturally just wants to carry. That part, because I'm creating a human. My first thing was, well, ma'am, I lost 30 pounds before getting pregnant. Like, I literally, what I've gained is what I lost prior to pregnancy. And the reality is that was a healthy weight for me. She was like, well, you were already above the whatever average was, and I said, lady, we black. And that was my thing. I was like, my thighs alone are like 100 pounds when they real healthy. So leave me alone. When people be bringing up, then this thing, girl. Do you see these hips? I need you to get the black BMI scale, because this is not working for all the doctors out there listening. Please, I need y'all to try out black BMI scale, because nobody wants to be a twig. Listen, just because I'm sure I don't mean that when I be 115 pounds. I literally can't. Like, my body's not even built that way. It's not. Like, the smallest I've ever been was like 135. And I look like a freaking popsicle stick with a lollipop thingy on top. That's like, I don't want to look sick. I don't want to look like I got a big humongous head. I think about it. I like the way I looked when I was in high school, and I was like senior year. I was 170. Like, people be freaking out if they knew that. They'd be like, but I had my body was on point. And so first of all, it still is. So there's that. But yeah, this is grown woman body over here. This all I got for y'all at this point. It's like, dang, but people be like, oh my god, especially in the world of like, you know, we're coming to dating and things like that, and we live in the world of like Kevin Samuels and all them script.
We need to do a whole episode on him.
Like script. First of all,
I don't know.
I don't even know. I'm about to say something, but God stop me. The Holy Spirit stop me.
I had some words in my mouth. I was like, I had to filter. Like I had to filter.
Not today. Let me tell you, the Holy Spirit be saving people. But like scrutinize women based on some way, like, but sir, who wants you? Okay, moving on. What would you do before we get in trouble?
Pulling it back. Thank you, Jesus. Growth.
Before we get in trouble.
Would you rather?
Oh yeah, would you rather? Not even what would you do.
What would you do? We just need to move on to the next part of this show. Because we about to go off on all the people. Let me tell you. The midwives, the doctors, Kevin Samuels, and everybody. Like all of y'all.
Come for all y'all today.
Okay. What would you... Wait, carry on. What would you do? Would you rather have a pause button on life?
Okay.
Or a rewind button on life?
Oh, this might have been the hardest question we've asked, to be honest. Like, because I don't know. Would I rather...
I don't either.
Oh.
I thought I had an answer and then I thought about it and then it changed.
Would I rather rewind or pause? Okay, what's the benefits?
Pros and cons.
I know, let me make a pros and cons chart real quick in my head. This is my daily thought process. I don't know. Oh, okay, choose, Alex, choose. I'm going to say, my first thought was to say pause. But what is the benefit of really pausing?
Because pause is not slowing down. Yeah, pause is literally stopping. Like,
so it's like, what's the real benefit of that? Unless I can move around in the pause.
Yeah.
Then that would be. But then say all that.
What are the rules? What are the rules?
Right. What's the rules? If it's just like stop time, I don't need that.
Yeah.
So then rewind, but it's like,
what are you rewinding to or for?
For, and then can I change once I rewind? Can I change like that time I rewind? I'm assuming you can.
I have an answer.
I'm gonna rewind. What's your answer?
Rewind. Here is my why, because I thought about it.
Okay.
I would rewind to my senior year of college.
Oh, okay.
And not enroll in Teach for America. No, okay, I'm not done, okay?
Y'all.
This is how hard. I'm not going to. 10 years of my life in a profession that I have had a love-hate relationship with.
I was not expecting that. I thought you was about to say, I don't know what I thought you was about to say about senior year of college.
But senior year of college is also when I met Chris.
Yeah, so that was like, I ain't know. That's all.
So it all ties in. Just watch, you know?
Okay, well, what happened? You would stay UGA?
So, I would have stayed at UGA to get my master's and doctorate in psychology. They had a dual program. Master's and PhD. Dum, 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 dum. Didn't know that. Enrolled in TFA, and this is how I got here. But I would have stayed at UGA.
Okay.
I had just got my GRE scores back like a week after getting TFA, like them securing me a spot. So I would have gone and got my master's, stayed on campus, dated Chris, let go of the other person who I was talking to during that time, and then Chris probably would have got married sooner. Maybe not. Maybe we might not be together because who I was in college. This is hard.
See, no, we got
Lord, no. Okay, but seriously, the theology here
is you would have got married sooner and you would have been doing what you want to do.
I probably would have got married sooner, or me and Chris would we probably would have dated longer because we got married like within a year of dating. But probably would have, dated a while. Yeah. And then I would have my doctorate right now versus being in school now for a master's and a doctorate.
Yeah.
But I would rewind because there are definitely some things I would change, and I'll probably start at senior year of college.
Yeah, I'll rewind some moments in my life. Yeah. There's sometimes. I don't know if I'm.
Yeah. You sound like you're trying to tell the people what the moments are.
Nah, because I told you I'm trying to be better, and the Holy Spirit stopped me from saying what I want to say, so I'm not gonna say it right now.
Look at you.
Because
growth. When I tell y'all this is growth.
this is gross. But I think I would do rewind because it would allow me to go back and change some things. Like decisions I made, people I'm connected with, you know.
Yeah.
That's
baby.
Yeah, because some people, I mean, I already erased you from my mind anyway. You did to me. So you be gone for real. Okay.
Oh.
I mean, because speaking of
people being dead to you,
like dating, right? Sometimes you meet people that you're like, I'm pretty sure there's a 90s song about this because it's like vaguely coming to mind. I will go back to the day that we met and not talk to you. I'm pretty sure there's a song.
I'm sure there is.
I'm gonna find it. I'm pretty sure there's like a song that would be like, I would keep walking, or you know, like I want to go to the day we met and not meet you. And there's somebody I feel that way about.
Running through a song Rolodex, trying to figure out.
I don't know. I feel like there's a song, 90s, early 2000s, when they made really good music. Like soulful storytelling music.
Yes.
So, yeah, but dating can be interesting, especially in your 20s. Yeah, in your 20s.
It's ghetto in 30s. In 20s, it is very, like, interesting.
It's because you've gone from really high school, which is way more sneaking, to having your, like, first relationship that your parents are kind of okay with. And then you go to college, and really college is the land of exploration. There's so many things. Who am I? Who do I want to date? What things do I like and don't like? So, and then there's really no life lesson on how to really date, to be honest. Like, it's just like a trial and error type thing. So you make some mistakes and you just like, if I could go back in time, I would avoid this entire situation and everything that happens now. I mean, even think of some of the situations I was in high school. That was just like, I could have avoided a lot of headache and yelling from my mom.
Yeah.
If I could just go into the day and never meet you, and I would be perfectly fine in life. Like, I would be okay with not knowing
you. Yeah. I have a few people, places, and things in mind that could completely be erased. Especially when it came to dating. During that time in life, especially before TFA, because it goes, blame it on TFA.
Right, everything on TFA fault. Let's like go back to what we talked about last week about like setting boundaries and like setting what you like.
You do that at 20?
Nobody. First of all, you go from no dating, no whatever, or like almost gotta sneak it because you can't be as serious as you want to be, because like, why y'all being so serious so young, to where's your husband? Like, it's an overnight thing.
That's real. Oh my god.
And it's not, you know, people joke and be like, that's like African culture, or but that's really everybody's culture. Like, a lot of people really do go from don't be serious with anybody, you're young, blah blah blah, to literally overnight.
A lot of
so you have a man
high schools where it be like ring before the spring.
Let me tell you, they're pretty much, they send their children to school for husbands, not degrees. Okay, husbands, not degrees. I have so many people I met freshman year left after they got them a husband.
They was like, so much money. These schools racking you up $20,000-$30,000 by the time you get out. $50,000 for some folks.
Yeah, depending.
I'm just saying, gotta pay a little extra. And you only doing it because you trying to link up with somebody. I don't know. Nobody teaches you about like dating, boundaries, you know, red flags. Like, you don't really learn about. I mean, there are some parents who kind of have those talks with their kids. I ain't have it. I literally went from no dating at all to senior year, my mama choosing my prom date.
But prom was late though.
All right, we're not gonna rehash the past, but okay. It was cool when I got there 4 hours late. To going to college and having all this freedom and like dating, not even dating because I wanted to be with anybody in particular, but dating because I wanted company, companionship. So there were a ton of red flags. I can literally name each person I've ever like just been in somewhat talking phases with. And I'm like, dang, that was a red flag, that was a red flag, that was a red flag. Let's talk about red flags. But one thing I don't think I ever had to deal with, which is interesting, was what I feel like a lot of people deal with now is the differences in like big things, religion, politics, like cultural perspectives, like Black Lives Matter versus Blue Lives Matter, like stuff like that is really intense while dating. I couldn't do it.
And I think it has a lot to do with like where we are as a society right now. Like coming out of just a time where a lot of awareness was brought to issues that have been going on for years. We now have started shedding a light on it, and it's coming to a place where people are really becoming like polarized. Like before, it's like, oh, okay, you are a Republican, you're a Christian, so you're a Republican because you don't believe in abortion. But other things like, okay. But now it's like, you're a Republican, so you don't like Black people, or you don't like gay people, oh, you're racist, like you're homophobic, oh, you like all these things. And so it's like we live in a world now where we're very polarized, and you don't really think about it as dating because people try to leave dating as fun. And sometimes you talk about things like, do you want to have kids? Where do you want to live? But we don't talk about the things that truly are probably, some people feel like don't impact their marriage.
I feel, so here's the thing. I will say there was a moment where I dated somebody whose religious perspective was different from mine. But the difference is it didn't start that way. So this person I dated in college, both of us were Christian, but he was ultimately trying to find himself in life in general. And ultimately he decided to become Islamic. And my young and dumb self was so enthralled. I was like, okay, well, we just want to have kids. Because the thing is, your religious beliefs impact your children. And we're not talking about like values. Values are like, you know, being kind, being nice, you know, helping people, be respectful, don't hurt nobody. All of those are values. When we're talking about religion, we're talking about a belief system by which you live your life because there's something you're working toward. So for me, it was like, okay, I really, really love you. I want to be with you, but I'm not teaching my children that Jesus is the only way to get to heaven.
Like,
so
that's not even
we're just not going to have kids, which was still dumb because I desperately wanted children. Even at that early age, and my parents ultimately had to do a whole intervention with me about it. But the thing is, it's like, when you are older and more mature, so watching Married at First Sight, when we were like on the regular cycle for watching it, the couple, the redhead girl, Brett,
I remember the names,
and Ryan, so they have these different political beliefs. And it's almost like they handled it and then they just kind of washed over it. It's like not even a thing anymore because she's so enamored with him. Mind you, homeboy is not really feeling her. He's trying. He's wanting some spark or something to happen, but it's not happening. And she's like basically in love at this point, and all of a sudden his desire, or not his desire, but his belief in being Republican, or his Republican beliefs or whatever, they don't matter anymore. And I think it's because the way he explained it to her, because he's in the oil and gas industry, and I'm like,
it was like, how does this affect my livelihood? Okay, but what about the other things that they do?
So, and I mean, I don't want to even make it like a Democrat versus Republican thing, but my thing is like, how do you navigate a dating relationship when you have such vastly different perspectives? Now, in that situation, maybe he doesn't necessarily have prejudiced beliefs against minority groups, which may be the case. But in general, like, that's just so challenging.
That would be a conversation. It would be like, okay, so you support this person for this reason, but okay, how do you feel about these other issues? Because I think that would be the bigger question in politics. It's like, okay, you can support one party or another because that's how American politics is. You have to vote pretty much along Democrat, Republican. There are other parties, but they're not as prevalent. But how do you feel about certain issues? And I think that even goes to say about Christians. Sometimes I feel like it's hard being a Christian, to be honest, in society today.
Especially a Black Christian.
Society today, understanding how do I want to vote on these political issues, because everything has become political.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. Like, we just live in a world where things that once weren't political is now political.
COVID is political, guys,
yeah, like,
if you didn't know.
You're gonna get flagged. Oh my Lord.
I'm just saying, sorry.
Who's gonna flag us? But yeah, like, to be honest, like, public health is a political issue. And it's like, how important is that to you? It's like, now that we're dating, like, you know, is getting
vaccinated or vaccinated?
Yeah, like, is that important to you and your partner? Like,
yeah.
I think about that now, like, dating somebody new that I don't know where you've been, and it's like, am I exposing myself to a potentially deadly virus?
Yes, and people have these ideas like, don't ask those questions too early on. No, I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, like, I honestly need to know what's your viewpoint on certain things early on, so we both are not wasting our time, which we talked about last week, which pretty much is like, at late 20s, early 30s, who has time to waste? I don't have time to be playing games like I did at 21, where I can find out in 2 months, or when the issue arises, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But at 31, I don't have time to be like, when we get to that bridge, because at that point it really may be too late.
Right.
Like, we need to address the things that are important to both of us now. Not just to you, but you need to ask him, what's important to you? What's something that you're passionate about, or that you feel very strongly about, to make sure you're on the same page about that, because that can impact your relationship. It will be devastating to think that, you know, y'all are thinking you're going to get married one day, and then you're now arguing about something that you both feel very passionate about, and you don't know if you can live knowing this person feels totally different than you. Right. Like, you have to realize that. And well, like Veronique, right? We and Veronique had a dating show. Well, it was Veronique's dating show, but I was helping Veronique with the dating show. And one of the questions on the application we used to get candidates was, how does your the person's political views play into your dating choices, right? And I was actually pretty surprised that 90% of the people said, like, not at all.
Oh, wow.
And I was just like, so...
Especially during the time frame when y'all were doing that.
Yeah, that was like
during COVID.
The height of COVID and the height of Black Lives Matter. And to me, that's shocking, because to me it means a lot. Like, I don't know if I could personally live with somebody who, even if you felt indifferent about something that I'm very passionate about, I don't know if I could live with that, to be honest, because to me, some things you just have to make a stance on. Yeah,
I feel like people don't realize they're passionate about something until they have to be passionate about something.
That's true.
Until it comes up, because literally I'm thinking about stuff like how certain things impact my family members. Like, so if I have somebody in my family and their spouse doesn't believe in, like, vaccinations, and that leaves somebody I care about unvaccinated, you know, and exposed and just kind of like out there, that bothers me. And I just don't, like, might not have a conversation with this particular person, but if it was somebody I was with, like a partner, dating, boyfriend, whatever, and you telling me that I can't vaccinate my child to keep them safe from things that are happening in the world, which means it's going to limit what schools we can put them in. Now we got to be paying for extra education because,
or activities,
you know,
they can go to.
Exactly. And I just feel like nobody thinks about stuff like that until it actually comes up. Because if I were to think about it before we get all the way to the point where we even got a child, we wouldn't even have a child together.
Yeah, to be honest. So that's true. Like, you don't know, because you don't even know what kind of questions to ask. Like, most people don't think about, just like in general, like even before, you know, our current situation, public health situation, people were very much, are you going to vaccinate your kid on the regular vaccination schedule, or are you going to do a modified schedule, or are you just not going to do it at all? And, you know, that was very polarizing in the mom community. Like, if you get on Baby Center or any of those other what to expect, there's a lot of the group community boards of talking about that, and people are very passionate about it. But you don't think about that, like when you're 25 or even 30 and you don't have kids, or you're not around kids, you don't even think like about that option. But that's when you go to the community and just like, that's when you talk to other people. Like, to me, it's important to talk to like Brittany or my other married friends about certain things that might come up that, you know, you never would have thought would be something that you would have to deal with or face. So you can be better prepared. Yeah. Like, to have those conversations and know what you're going to do.
Yep. And I just feel like there does have to be a level of preparation. Yeah. Because I think people do go into even like, okay, let's say your dating relationship was perfectly fine. And this how me and Chris were the entire time we dated. I used to say, oh, we don't fuss and fight. We have debates and discussions, because we legitimately did. Like, we would just kind of go back and forth about different things, see each other's perspective. And then when we got married, it was like a switch. We were like arguing about stuff. Things became more important, because now we're together forever, and now I have to live with this thing, and I'm not comfortable with it. So I think it's important to really just think about how valuable, how important, how impactful are certain things to you. It's not just about you. When you're thinking about establishing a family, how is this particular polarizing belief going to impact your children? Right. So had I married the person who decided to be Islamic, and then we got married, but in both faiths, from my understanding, having offspring is important. Yeah. So now we talk about not having children. Okay, so that's another issue that we have to discuss as two very spiritual, religious people, faith-based people. Yeah. And then if we do have children, when those kids get here, what does that like? What does it look like? Somebody going to church, somebody going to mosque, prayer, like what we praying how many times a day? Like, who are we praying to? Because contrary to popular belief, those are two different gods. And I just feel like, if you don't, marriage comes with so many other problems and other things and other situations. If you can avoid some certain things by just making sure that you are aligned or equally yoked with your spouse, your partner, whoever you're dating, it makes it a little bit easier, because at the end of the day, your goals will be the same, your foundation will be the same, and you won't have to worry about trying to combat, like, I don't want to say like a devil, because just because you believe something different doesn't make it demonic, but I just feel like you won't have to have this enemy in your household all the time, because the enemy's already going to be there, because the enemy doesn't like marriage anyway. So if you are battling this enemy, and then you and your partner are enemies, like, it's not gonna work, and it can become very frustrating. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't. So it's like, find out what's important to you. Yeah. Like, honestly, what's important to you, and not just, oh, this is important or this is important, or or become indifferent, because so many of us just take a stance of, it doesn't fit me, so I'm indifferent to it. Yeah. But there are going to be some things that you feel like, this is right, this is wrong. Yeah. And I have to take a stance on it. And you might not be as passionate as me. I'm very passionate about politics. I'm very passionate about social rights. And people really having the ability to choose in every aspect of their life. But you have to figure out what's important to you. Yeah. And where you stand on that. So when you are dating, you can find somebody who feels the same way, and not just, hoping, that when y'all cross that bridge, that y'all will hopefully be on the same path.
Are we skipping over this together? Or are we about to tear this bridge down?
Or he be like, I'm going on this bridge. What you talking about? I'm turning around.
Whole bridge torn down. We about to drown. It's around.
Yeah, like, bridge. I don't use bridges. So I think that's important.
Yeah, it is absolutely important. One thing, and like, just I guess to wrap it up in a nice bow with what Alex has already said, I feel like one thing I share with my therapy clients is, write down what you deserve, what you know you deserve, what you want, what you don't want, what are red flags for you, what are the red flags that are like, these are more like yellow, these are red. Like, really figure out what you want. And it's always amazing to put it on paper, because then you have something to refer back to. Yeah. When you start to invite someone in your life and date them, and a red flag pops up, you can go back to that sheet of paper and say, is this something that I'm willing to bend on, or is it more yellow than it is red? Right. And that's something that we talk through a lot with clients. And I just feel like, if more of us did that, we might be a little bit better off.
Actually, before you get in a relationship, because it's so easy to make a red flag green when you like a person. He looks
gives
good,
me butterflies.
he do this,
he be touching and kissing me, and
you know. Because we make decisions with sober minds,
Hello.
and sober minds doesn't mean alcohol and drugs and things like that. It just means that you don't have heightened emotions.
Because that adrenaline is something serious. Psychologically,
it's like a drug.
The emotions are at its highest in the first 9 months of a new relationship.
9 months is a long time.
Long enough to get pregnant
and have a baby.
So watch yourself and be careful out here in these streets.
Yep. That's a long time. That's a crazy statistic.
Unless something comes up to, you know, cause that adrenaline to die down, the first 9 months of a new relationship are the most intense when it comes to like your development of your feelings and emotions.
And most people, once you're at 9 months and you don't want to get out,
exactly.
It becomes comfortable.
We almost to a year. We can make it.
We can make it. Yeah, it becomes very comfortable at that point.
Real comfortable.
That's a great statistic.
Yep. Yeah. So be careful out in these streets, y'all.
And do this thing, this exercise to this thing. This exercise, because I'm gonna do it because it's like I said, it's easy to change plans when you're heightened emotions, and I think that's a great exercise. Yeah,
and it can develop and grow with you. Like if you change, of course, because you will, then maybe your boundaries change, maybe your red flags change, maybe even what you feel like you deserve changes. Not that you don't deserve what you already said, but maybe you deserve more. So put it on paper and keep it somewhere. So when all dudes start acting funny, you can look at this list and be like,
Or when you want to think about it, you be like, oh, maybe I can deal with it. You be like, no, I didn't. No, I can't. I told myself I wouldn't.
Put right here, can't deal with this ever. I don't care how beautiful his eyes are.
Oh, wow.
Just write it all down.
Yes, write it down.
Good stuff though.
This was a good topic.
Yeah.
I love when we give exercises.
Dating in politics, dating in religion, dating in all the polarizing beliefs.
I know, right? Well,
God bless to everybody who chooses to do so.
Well, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of the Sisterhood Debrief, where we discuss all things
sisterly,
godly,
and ratchet.
Y'all have a great week.
Bye.